My name is Alex. I have an Instagram and YouTube Love Sugar show, so I want to thank you for taking your time for doing the interview.
Of course, my pleasure.
So, the first question that I ask anyone that I ever interview is how's everything going in your world, not just musically, but also in your personal life as well, because that's important too.
Of course. I feel like they're intertwined, however, like my whole life is music. I don't have a day job, so I wake up and my brain is already like, what can I do for the band or just for music in general? Like it's just one and the same. My whole life is music, so I don't know if that sounds kind of cliche, but it's been good. It's just been very busy preparing for, this upcoming new chapter for Sicksense. We put out a single a couple weeks ago, and we have more music on the way. So the last 2 weeks, we were just so busy filming music videos and content and all that stuff.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
So, I do want to talk about the new single that released. What
Yeah.
kind of inspired that song and also like the music video? Because it's very fun.
Yeah. The music video honestly was just like on a whim. We went to this place called the Mighty Axe in Phoenix, this past Halloween. And the second I stepped in, I was like, this would be a really cool place to film a music video. So as soon as we had finished all the songs that we have, prepared to release for this year, I listened to all of them and I'm like, okay, which one could I see us, filming at this location? And Newsflash was the one that made the most sense to me.
Mhm.
And we just got in contact with the owner and we asked if we could film it there. And he was like, absolutely, this is awesome. So we just spent a day there, like 5, 6 hours, invited all our friends, threw around some axes. It was just a lot of fun. Um, as for the music itself, I mean, we just kind of write as we go, you know? A lot of our themes and a lot of our lyrics and even the vocal styles that we choose to do, it's just kind of spur of the moment, what we're feeling, what we're going through in life or people around us. We're not super methodical with like our songwriting, and I think that's probably why it's a little bit all over the place too, genre-wise. Like we're
Mhm.
not we're not too worried or concerned that like, oh no, wait, this doesn't fit. This doesn't feel like Sixth Sense. We just kind of throw it in the mix and make it work. Yeah.
So with the new single, was it like taken from any like events that happened or any like stories from maybe friends that happened, or what was kind of like the story behind that?
I think just like the current climate with like um I guess society and all that, like Newsflash is it has a double meaning to me. Newsflash is more on the one side, you could say it's a little socio-political in its essence because of the panic that is surrounding us in society now. Like everyone just feels like it's doomsday a little bit, and Newsflash is kind of like surprise, it's kind of always been like that. Like people suck, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a sarcastic sort of ironic spin that decentivizes you a little bit to everything that's going on. And we're not saying that like you shouldn't care or that you shouldn't be up to date with what's happening in the world and all that, but like don't let it consume every part of your being. Like at the end of the
Mhm.
day, as humans, we need to focus on our own lives and what is in our control. And I think there's just an overwhelming like barrage of information that we're getting every day. Like we wake up, we go on the internet, we see something happen, someone died, someone this, someone that, and it just makes us feel so bad. And I guess Newsflash is kind of like, well, things have always kind of been this way. Maybe we just weren't aware of them, or we weren't blasted, constantly by the media and ads and all that. So that's the one side of it. And then the flip side, because I like always as a songwriter, as a lyricist, to kind of throw a little positive spin in there if I can. And
Yeah.
so to me, the hook of the song, the chorus that says, newsflash of the week, everyone's a freak. It's kind of like this empowering thing that like, okay, we're all different, we're all unique. That's cool. Like we
Yeah.
shouldn't criticize each other for being different, for not fitting into societal norm. Also because the first part of what I was saying can often very can very often stem from that as well. Like just this
Hmm.
peer pressure and this feeling that you don't fit, and that messes with your mental health and your whole state of mind. And I think for that reason too, we wanted like a more lighthearted, fun video to just kind of say like, hey, life is hard enough as is. Like, don't make it harder. Just have fun. Try and enjoy your life and your day to day.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
especially like as adults, it's not as bad versus when you're younger. I feel like bullying is way more like
Yeah.
happening, like, oh, you are wearing this shirt and you should be wearing these shirts. And it's just like when you grow up, you're like, those things are so like they don't matter anymore.
They don't matter and they change so often. Like, I look at, styles and what's in and what's hip, and it's just like the very thing that you could be mocked for in 20 years might be like the thing that everyone's wearing.
Yes,
So it's just like, it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, people should just do what they feel like doing and what feels true to themselves.
exactly, because that makes you cool.
Yeah.
So, how does the song represent where the band is right now?
um, I'm not sure how to answer that. Like musically or
Musically, emotionally, like
uh
sound-wise?
okay, yeah, I mean sound-wise it's kind of I feel like it's kind of a blend of how Six Sense first started being, I guess, very like new metal, heavy in the rap verses, and oh, there's a whole rap bridge. There's a lot of rapping in this song, whereas for example, with our previous album or our debut album, Cross Me Twice, we didn't have as much rapping. So we
Mm,
kind of wanted to go back to that original sound, but like incorporate elements of who we are today and how we write today. So I feel like it's a perfect blend of the two. That being said, Newsflash is just one song. We have more songs that we've written that are nothing like that. So that's kind
hmm.
of it's the cool and exciting part of what we do with Sixth Sense, but it's also a little bit scary in the sense that sometimes I sit around and I think, oh, someone found us through this song, whatever said song is. And they're
Right.
like, favorite new band, that'll happen every now and they'll be like, oh my God, I just discovered you guys. This is so cool. And then I'm like, the next song we're putting out is very different. I hope that doesn't, throw them off or push them away. But at the same time, like, that's kind of how we write. That's kind of how we are. We just come up with ideas and we put them into Sixth Sense. So I don't think that's ever going to change.
That's awesome. I personally love an album that has like different elements because
Yeah.
it's a little bit of everything for everyone. Like, oh, you don't like this song, just get to the next one. You might love it.
Yeah, and I feel like uh, we're kind of struggling a little bit going against how people consume music today. That in that like when I was growing up, full albums were a thing. Like I would discover a band through a single song, through a music video or whatever, and then that
Hmm.
would kind of motivate me to see like, okay, is this song part of an album? And then it's like, oh, it is part of an album. Then I buy the album, then I listen to the album in its entirety. And I
Hmm.
feel like that is so much harder to do today for people because they're only going to listen to an album if they're already invested in a band, like fully invested. They're not just gonna,
Right.
I found you guys on one song, I'm gonna go listen to the whole album now. Some people do, but on average that doesn't really happen. And that being said, I feel like it's a struggle because as a songwriter and as an artist that came from that generation, I believe in
Hmm.
full albums and I believe in telling a story through an album.
Yeah.
Um, but a lot of people won't give that chance, and it kind of sucks a little bit sometimes because, people will judge us off of, say, a 30-second clip that I posted on the internet, and they'll be like, oh, more of the same, or we heard this before, where's like something unique and different? And I'm like, well, listen to the full album, but they're not going to do
Hmm.
that. So it's a very tricky time. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's a tricky time as an artist in 2026, like
Yeah.
finding that balance between what do I want to do but also what is the right thing to do, I guess.
It's that TikTok. We can't handle more than a few 30-second clip.
It's crazy. I don't know. I feel like I'm different because like even if I don't really go on TikTok, but other platforms, like say I'm on Instagram or whatever, and I find a 30-second clip that I really like, I will go and listen to more. I won't just be like, okay, follow 30 seconds and then not listen, you know? It's so strange to me because, like, I always want to go to the next step. I mean, like, what is this band about? Like, are they actually cool or was it just that 30 seconds that, like, pulled me in, but then the rest is kind of eh? You know, I go down that rabbit hole, but unfortunately, not everyone does.
Yes, I agree. Since I like interview, I listen to full albums now, and I'm like, I miss doing this instead of just going on Spotify and just
Yeah.
picking and choosing whatever I want. So
Yeah, 100%.
it looks like you have a friend in the background saying hi.
Yep. My dog. He often hangs out here when I'm in this room.
Awesome. I love dogs. They are the best.
Yes.
So with the single, since that's the one that's out right now, what
hmm
part of it are you really proud of?
Um, the whole thing, I guess. I don't know. I'm excited to play this one live. I don't usually say that for a lot of songs that we put out. Um, I don't necessarily dread playing them live. It's more that I don't know how they're going to translate live. But for
Mhm.
Newsflash, I think because we filmed it in a public space, we had friends there, it was blasting out of the PA, people were vibing. I'm like, okay, I know this one's gonna it's gonna hit live. It's like very groovy, very bouncy. It's catchy. It's to the point. It's not super technical. Like I love doing difficult stuff vocally if it makes sense, but I don't lead with that. And for this song, it didn't need anything, you know, super technical. So I know it's just gonna be a lot of fun playing it live. If if and when that happens.
I think it's also a good song to go axe throwing to, just saying.
Yeah, it is.
And a lot of music I feel like feels really emotional. And I feel like a lot of artists also put like a lot of emotion into their songs. Would you say you are the same, or is it like really emotional for you?
Um, it depends on the song. Yeah, there are certainly like songs and moments where we, you know, dive a little bit more into that. I wouldn't say Newsflash is one of them. It's more straightforward, it's more to the point because of the theme of the song too. You know, I think it depends what is it that I'm writing about. And
Hmm.
there is some music that's going to come out soon. Not the next single, but the one after that, for example, which is like a fully emotional song. So it just depends on the theme of the lyrics and the vocals and all that.
Awesome. So it kind of just sounds like it's like different songs get different vibes. So you kind of just
Yeah.
go go on that.
Yeah, I mean, music reflects life, right? And when we're writing music, you know, sometimes you're in a very emotional state and you're like, I want to write an emotional song, but sometimes you're just like pissed off or angry, for example, and you want to write a song that's angry, you know? I
Yeah.
just try, like I said, to not limit what I'm feeling and what I want to talk about. And I think that's how we end up with this variety of songs and emotions.
And what kind of keeps the band motivated?
That's a great question. I think we just really love what we do. Like it's obviously not easy, and it's obviously, you know, Sicksense isn't anyone's. Well, I wouldn't say full-time job because you know, Robbie and I, pretty much deal with Sicksense stuff, you know, every single day, but it doesn't pay our bills, is what I'm trying to say. So there
Yeah.
comes a time in I think every musician's life where they start questioning if the thing they're doing is worth continuing because honestly, it always comes down to the financial aspect, unless, you know, you see the bands that break up after 20, 30 years of being super successful. At that point, they've just like had enough and they just want to stay home. But
Yeah.
in terms of bands that haven't quite hit the made it benchmark of like being able to pay their bills and do this full time, I think most people quit when strictly for financial reasons. And I'm not going to pretend like that doesn't go through my head every now and then, or that doesn't become a topic of conversation when, say, I don't know, we had certain expectations that weren't met.
Yeah.
But I then, you know, I try and I bring it back and I look at my life and it's like, okay, do I have the basic things that I need in life? Like can I afford to live? Am I okay? I'm not really struggling right now, so I'm in a good place. And then the music I create is kind of what feeds me mentally to be okay. Like I can't imagine myself not creating music. So that's, I guess, kind of the motivation is that like, well, it's putting a spin on it and being like, I'm blessed and fortunate enough to be able to create the music that I have inside me, which a lot of people can't say the same. There's a lot of people all over the world that may be very creative and artistic and talented, and they just don't have, the means to do it, the financial I guess, aspect to record and release music because it's really expensive to do independently. Or they
Yeah.
might come from a country where metal music just doesn't exist and maybe they want to start a band but they don't know anyone. So I try and think of those things and that puts it into perspective that it's like, okay, I'm blessed and fortunate to be able to do this. And the rest, it's like whatever happens, happens.
That's awesome. That's a really good way to think about it for sure.
I try.
So I have to ask for everyone else too, besides the singles coming out, what's like next for the band? Is this lead into an album? I know I saw something about like some touring.
Yeah, so it's not going to be an album. It's going to be an EP. We haven't announced it yet, but this is like the third interview that I got asked. So at this point, just whatever, let the news circulate. We're going to announce the EP with the second single, which is coming out next month. And we just wanted to do that as a way to, okay, we're not ready for a full album because of what I was talking about earlier, like people's attention spans and the time and energy that goes into a full album. Like I want the band to be at a bigger level, I guess, in terms of an audience before we do another album.
Hmm.
So then we were presented with like a question mark, like, okay, so do we do just singles or do we want to do an EP? And we decided on an EP simply because we always love having like a physical copy of what we do.
Yes.
So we had, a couple songs written and we're like, okay, let's do an EP this year. Let's put out the physical format. We commissioned our original artist, Alexandra Morozova. She did the art for our first two EPs. So we're like, okay, let's bring her back for this. And then, when you have this like very striking visual art that's inspired by your lyrics and your themes, you want to put it together and you want to give people a physical CD. I feel like
Yeah.
yeah, it's important to a lot of people. And a CD, costs 10, $15. Like people want to support, they want to have something physical. So, EP this year, no plans for touring yet. I mean, we are in talks. We are trying to get something for the fall because that's when the EP will be out. So we'll
Hmm.
see. Fingers crossed.
Can you tell us anything extra? Like how many songs will be on it? When it's scheduled to maybe come out?
Yeah, I don't know if we have a exact release date, but we were talking about maybe September, October, so early fall. And number of songs is a question mark. Like, I know it's gonna be four, but we might potentially have like a bonus kind of reinterpretation of one, making it five. I'm not sure entirely. Like, it's kind of crazy because we're gonna announce it next month, but I'm like, we need to figure out, is it gonna be
Yeah.
four songs? Is it gonna be five? We'll see in the next few weeks. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, there you go, guys. We got a little bit more information here.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you like mentioned that you're looking into like doing a tour for the fall and you're kind of in talks about it. Would you be playing songs on the EP for that, or would it be like a mix of like old, new, or how does that kind of work?
Well, I imagine whatever tour we get, if we get something, it's going to be an opening set. It's going to be 30 minutes, maybe 40 if we're like direct support to something smaller.
Hmm.
So at that point, you're just like, when you're building a set, you're like, okay, 30, 40 minutes, how many songs can I squeeze in? And then you start with the songs that are priority. And so we definitely play Newsflash and a couple other singles from this EP that are going to be released. And then, you know, you go back and you're like, okay, from our back catalog, what is that people really want to hear? Like, what are popular songs, or maybe what didn't we play last year when we toured? That's another thing I like to look at, especially if we're going to the same places. Um, I'm like, okay, we came here last year. Let's not play the exact same set because
Yeah.
some people might, come back to see us again. I don't want to play the exact same songs. So it kind of depends. It depends also like what bands we're touring with. Are they more new metal-y? Are they more metalcore? We try and adapt a little bit of our catalog to the bands that we're also playing with. Not entirely, like we'll
Hmm.
still throw some curveballs, but we do consider that as well.
That's awesome. I like how you kind of like try to, it makes it better, I think, versus like, I mean, I'm sure you've been to shows too, where it's like the band is completely opposite from the main show. And I'm like, that's cool too, but that's
Yeah.
just very something you don't expect.
Yeah, I mean, it can work in your favor. That's why I like to at least, one or two songs maybe be a little outside of the box or outside of like what the tour package is like. But also don't start with those songs, maybe throw them somewhere in the middle of the set. It
Yeah.
just it just really depends. But building a set is definitely something that we like try and carefully, put together. We don't just throw in a bunch of songs and like, okay, this is the set.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah.
So for anyone, which is a lot of people who haven't heard the EP, what can they kind of expect? Like what sounds, what emotions?
Pretty much everything. I know that sounds like cliche, like maybe a lot of people have said this before, but you have Newsflash, which is this like bouncy, groovy kind of new metal song, hip hop new metal song. And then, our next song we're gonna put out is not that at all. It's a faster song, faster BPM. It's more in the metalcore realm. Then
Hmm.
later on we have a ballad. There's a lot. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's a variety of different genres and songs. I feel like it feels like Sicksense. The songwriting is Sicksense, but I think the dynamic range between everything is just like even wider.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think our music is targeted towards people that have a very open-minded kind of approach to the music that they consume. They're
Hmm.
not like I'm strictly a new metal guy or I'm strictly a metalcore person or whatever. Just like open mind and just like is it good or is it not? Like I always treat music and bands like that. Is this music good? Are they good at what they do? Or are they not? I don't look at labels and genres. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what this upcoming music for Six Sense is too.
Is the next single like danceable too? I have to.
It depends on the dance you're trying to do, I guess. I feel like everything's danceable. It just some are faster than others, I guess. Yeah. It's
Well,
danceable. Yeah.
sweet. So we have a danceable song next, and I'll let you let the listeners know where they can keep up with you, where they can like find news about the EP when they come out, when the singles come out, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, social media, we're pretty much everywhere. I always tell people, like, go to the platform of your choice because, some people are on Instagram, some are on Facebook, some are on TikTok, everyone's different. The best way, honestly, is just to go directly to our website. We have a mailing list there, and, we use that mailing list for the very important stuff, which is like new music, new video, new tour, new merch designs, just like the big highlights of whatever it is we're doing. So that's honestly the best way to make sure you don't miss anything. Because my number one problem with social media, I don't mind it. I don't mind, doing the grind and posting. I
Yeah.
just hate that people don't see stuff. Like we will literally be on tour and it happened on one of the tours that I did. We just played last year. I woke up, I forget where we were. Was it Salt Lake City? It was somewhere towards the end of the tour. And I woke up, I wasn't posting every single day because I'm on tour, how much can I do? But
Yeah.
I woke up that day and I was like all groggy and I was like, oh, I don't feel like posting. But we had like cool photos that our photographer took from the previous night. And I'm like, whatever, I'll post. And I posted it and someone saw it and they were like, oh my God, that's like 3 hours from where I am. I'm coming to the show. And they actually drove 3 hours within the same day to come to the show. And
Oh,
and I was like, that wouldn't have happened if I didn't post. But at the same time, I've been posting about this tour for like months. So that's kind of what I'm saying, that it's like it just sucks that like as a person, as a creator, you're like, "Oh, I already shared this. People saw it." And then it's like, "Nope, nobody sees it." So if there's any band that you really love and you want to support, try and find the like direct methods, which is like mailing list. We also have a Patreon. We're also on Discord. That way, you won't miss anything that's like super important.
well, awesome. And I'll put everything in the comments below so you guys have no excuse. It'll make it super easy for you guys.
Hell yeah.
And, make sure to sign up for that mailing list.
Yes. Yes.